I got your Pokemon Fiesta right here. Here there, bud. Nothing personal, all is all, but I'm not sure what the question of survival fees I'm about to get into. Baja Blast. And with that in mind, time for another gaming vlog to lead out this week, and as promised, what I'm playing, those other developments there have been, and so let's get started. Let's start with the PS Plus lineup being refreshed. I have to say my favorite title of this month's lineup so far, based on the amount I played, is Minecraft Dungeons. It may not be my favorite spin-off by any means, and don't like quite much the story mode, but as a roguelike dungeon crawler in the Minecraft universe, it does alright. That's kind of someone who is way into more into the creative aspect of the franchise than the exploration survival one. And again, no need to make any mountains and molehills. Like, of course I was going to have a problem with these visuals, like how that whole franchise built its whole name onto the cartoony graphics, but let's continue. On a certain note, I finally tried Code Vein, and I was not particularly impressed. On paper, it's not the worst idea, but maybe it was just because of how I'm not familiar with other parts of this series. It's connected to another work I'm not familiar with, but it just feels like a much slower version of Devil May Cry in how it approaches stuff. Like everything from the UI, the combat system, to the world itself just feel a bit less imaginative. I would have preferred. It never really stood out to me when it first came out, and it still doesn't now. And the third and final one is the base tier is definitely the most infamous, I would say. Third is the infamous Battlefield 2042. I've started playing it, and even though they have made a lot of fixes since the infamously memey launch, I've really been enjoying some of those fan videos. I was set to The Greatest Showman, and this whole Battlefield 2077 vibe going on there. And I can understand that because I'm not a huge Battlefield fan, personally. I'll get into more detail in a separate video, like I did with Battlefield 5 before, and a few years back. But in relation to that game, it had caused a lot of people like the Thanos meme looking back at that saying, perhaps treated too harshly. So let's continue. On the Switch front, I am very close to beating the Elite Four in Champion, and if you ever encountered a save bug, I once again apologize. I don't see how I've encountered that. It has something to do with the Pokemon Go integration, so I'm just going to wait until that's fully rolled out to even attempt it. It's not the first time this happened. At least the worst that happened with BDSP in hindsight was like the door, or getting stuck outside the gym in my case, and Metro Prime Remastered still sold out and looking to address supply issues, which they have a habit of underestimating demand for such a title like that. But on the plus side, Metroid Fusion is coming to Game Awareness Online on Thursday, and I'm also, in regard to the quote-unquote craftsmanship argument, and it's actually not the case. They outright said there's no going to be a set schedule for further installments. They told you that. Personally, I would have been okay with just a stealth drop of TCG on Game Boy Online or Stadium 1 and 2 on Stadium Online, but that's just me. The plot also continues to thicken in regards to the pending merger of Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard, in which, on top of clearing the hurdles of the CMA in England and the regulators in the European Union, and it seems that as part of the process, Sony, who was pushing for the FTC and other regulators to do something, have done something. They've actually requested that Sony cooperate with the investigation, which I kind of saw coming. Since whether it was going to be the authorities or Microsoft, that they would have to, who would be he called to talk about this at some point, whether or not it's Jim Ryan personally or someone else in charge of the company. Hey, that remains to be seen. And I'm also keeping an eye on mainly like the Mario movie direct on Thursday. There's also a Capcom presentation and to a lesser extent Level 5 Vision. I guess we shall see how this goes. Of course, I'm looking forward to most of the Mario one. Why wouldn't I be? Hmm. Anyway, hey, looking forward to the next waves of Mario Kart 8 Booster Course Deluxe. Where's past Deluxe? Probably be good for Legacies, but I also beat WarioWare and Mario Super Circuit for the first time. And I think I'm going to start wrapping this up. Last but not least, I am definitely low-key excited about both Mortal Kombat 12 and Tekken 8, even with the admittedly very little information we got about them so far earlier this year. And I was up for last night playing Metal Gear Shadow Mordor, an excellent game, in the vein of like it's basically close to what I think to like a Middle Earth version of Arkham or a Souls title, and yes, I enjoy it for that. That'll be all for now, and I'll see you all tomorrow in my next Bad Batch vlog. Take care, everyone.